أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. It is a great honor to be able to come and commemorate individuals, remember individuals who lived the life of a shaheed and were granted the permission to pass away as a shaheed. These individuals are unique individuals and they are role models for us, and truly speaking, understanding the position of shahada is essential and innate to us today. Sometimes we feel that the position of shahada is something which is linked to the apparent martyrdom only, the taking away of life of an individual who's on the path of God. However, understanding what real shahada is innate and essential. Otherwise, we might get hooked onto the appearance and forget to go further into the reality behind it. So today, we're going to talk about this concept in a unique manner. Salawat, please. To bring our tawajjuh towards this understanding a little bit better, and for the barakah to enter this hall and in our hearts, I'd request you to come closer and recite a loud salawat, please. Recite a second salawat, and this time we're reaching out to Sayyidah Fatima al-Zahra as we're commemorating Syeds today. Recite a third one, and we're reaching out to the 12th Imam to allow us to learn and benefit from today's talk. Recite one more salawat for the eradication of the enemy of humanity. Recite a salawat for the coming of the ultimate solution. Us as humans, for us humanity is essential and innate. And for us as humans, any power that goes against humanity is going against our innate survival. And hence, anything which goes against humanity, therefore, is an enemy of humanity. We innately can't accept that. Understanding this point is essential. Salawat, please. These salawats were essential because they're asking Allah to bring our tawajjuh here. They're asking Allah to allow us to learn. Having said this, the reason why we're here, if the remembrance is an idea, is an item which is token and coined only in culture, if it's something that we feel must be done and therefore we're doing it because the event is important, then we haven't understood what remembering truly means. You see that? Remembrance has little to do with those who have passed and a lot more to do with those who are here. Are those who have passed remembering themselves? No. And hence those who are here are remembering, so the action is attributed to us. And hence the benefit of this action is primarily for then us. So if in the coming and the remembering there isn't an innate and primary benefit to me, then all of a sudden, perhaps that might not be a remembering that I'm doing. See that? So the idea of remembrance is innate to me, it's my action. What happens when we remember something? The mention of something or the remembrance of something does what? It brings our focus towards that particular item, correct? Okay. What does bringing focus do in our nafs? It orients us. When I tell you, please be focused towards this table beside the mimbar. Before I mentioned it, the table was there, right? The moment I mentioned it, I oriented your tawajjuh towards that particular table. I didn't make a table, I just simply made you more focused on it. That orientation kept you away from other distractions. That door over there, that window over there, and made you focused on this particular thing. That became then the maqsad and goal of your current now, your existence in that moment. You're focused on the table. You see that? While you were focused on the table, were you also focused on the door behind you? You couldn't be. By refining your direction, I've ensured that your distractions were disconnected. And I was attaching you simply to that particular place where your tawajjuh is being brought. When we're coming over here and we're remembering, it's exactly what we're doing. We are realigning and reorienting our focus towards an essential item. What are we remembering? Was it the physical bodies of these individuals that made them who they were? So for example, consider the individuals you're here to remember. If their beard length was bigger or shorter, would their remembrance change? No. None of their physical features were the ones which are the epitome of this memory today. Nothing. Was it something that was specific to their person, their personal quirks, or their personal characteristics? A person might be more jokey or less jokey. Was this personage of them that which brought us here today? No. You see that? In the case that of these very same individuals had a slightly different trait to them. They were more jokey or less jokey, more serious or less serious. In the case of our beloved Syed Asad, even bigger than he actually was, which was almost impossible to fathom almost, or less so. It wasn't the physical features and personage traits of that particular person in terms of their person that brought us here. What we're here to remember is a personality. This is innate and essential to understand. Salawat, please. What makes these personalities unique? Well, we can say that they were hallmarks and known for one particular item. They became representatives of piety. When that occurs, when an individual becomes a representative of piety, all of a sudden remembering that person is remembering piety. They become a symbol of that. So the benefit your nafs and my nafs has when we come to these gatherings is that our nafs becomes oriented towards the actuality and essence of those individuals, not just the appearance of them. And the actuality and essential aspect of these shuhada was nothing but piety. Sure, it adorned appearances separately. For one individual, it was one appearance. For another, it was another. And for the third, it was something else. The appearances were different. Their names were different. You see that? Their locality, where they're from, was different. Their lifestyle and how they conducted, which language they spoke, might be different. But you're not here to remember the appearance of these individuals. You're here to remember the essence of them. Why? Because your nafs itself, also finds itself uniquely linked to that idea. You also identify with this want to be pious. You want proximity to piety. You see that? If an individual did not want piety, would they remember the hallmarks and symbols of piety? Probably not. Salawat, please. What is piety? For this, I will take you on a history tour. Imagine you're in the time of Imam Hassan alayhi salam. And the Imam has just performed the peace treaty with Muawiyah. Okay? And one person beside you comes and says, I really want to be pious just like Imam Ali. I want to take my sword out and fight. What would you tell that individual? Naturally speaking, you'd say, Aziz, the standard of piety is to become aligned with the Imam of your time. The Imam of your time has signed a peace treaty, and hence the standard of piety then becomes something which is in line with the peace treaty. If you go contra to the direction that your Imam is trying to take you, by definition you are not pious. And hence to that person you'll say, Aziz Iman, the Imam of your time becomes the standard of your piety. His objectives becomes the objective of piety in that era. His direction becomes the direction of piety in that era. And hence now, in the time of Imam Hassan, you tell the individual, taking your sword out now actually is the opposite of piety. You see that? You see that? Let's jump forward to Karbala. Over there, if a person says that I would like to be loyal to the peace treaty of Imam Hassan and display piety there, you tell the same person the same concept but in a different appearance. You see this idea? These three Sadat were the same innate item but in different appearances, as is the case for each and every single one of you. In our essence, we're one. In our appearance, we're different. That's it. If you don't understand this, then there's nothing really bringing us together. In our essence, we're one. We are owned individuals, and our owner is one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nothing but that. So that person now in Karbala is saying, I want to be loyal to the peace treaty and display piety. You will tell him the exact same essence, but the appearance of what you're saying will be now different. You'll be telling him, hey, the sign of piety now is the sword, and the sign opposite of piety is peace treaties. You see that? So the standard and the hallmark of piety becomes the direction of the Imam of that particular time. If you understood this, recite the salawat, please. The concept of the 12th Imam is not something specific to Shias. It's something specific to Islam. See that? Question. Ask any Muslim and say, hey, what do you think the primary goal of the 12th Imam has been discussed and displayed as by all the other messengers and Imams? What would they say? Establishing justice. Is it establishing justice in a country or in a particular street? No. It's the establishment of the system of justice universally, not even on earth, universally. Anybody have a different understanding than that about the 12th Imam? No. Is this understanding specific to only scholars in one city or another? No. Is it specific to Shias? No. Is it specific to Muslims? Even here I'd say no. Other faiths also have the understanding of an ultimate survivor and savior of humanity. You see that? And in even those understandings, the overall arcing goal is the establishment of justice. Where? In their streets? In their local political ridings? They say that that particular savior, once he has enough votes, then he'll win. No. It's the establishment of justice universally. This concept is not innate to Shiism or even Islam. It's there in other Abrahamic faiths too. It goes beyond that. Salawat, please. So now we ask ourselves, as that individual who finds himself in the time of this Imam, are you somebody who can establish this for yourself? That you're aligned with the ultimate goal of your Imam? In the case of Imam Hassan, the ultimate goal was what? In that particular moment? The preservation of the lineage of Bani Hashim, in particular Imam Hussein and Imam Hassan. That was the ultimate reason why the peace treaty was done. Otherwise, Imam Hassan wasn't scared of Shahada. It was just apparently obvious to him and Imam Hassan and Abu Fadl Abbas, because all three of them actually were the generals of the army, and the decision to make the peace treaty wasn't from just Imam Hassan, it was projected from the entire council, which included Imam Hussein and Abu Fadl Abbas. And hence you can find later on Imam Hussein says, this directive is not just Imam Hassan's directive, it's mine too. He's my Imam too. You see that? In that particular moment, the same thing you tell that companion, say, hey, you have to align with your Imam's directive now. We'd say the exact same thing to ourselves. And we just established the directive of the 12th Imam, not just for us, not just for scholars, for humanity, humans who claim to have humanity. Okay? Is this idea that humanity will prevail at the end and display its true essence. It will conquer and overcome and suppress the opposite of humanity. You see that? The question comes here. Is this something that's specific only to the global social political sphere? No. Is it something specific to only the family unit? No. Is it something specific only to your nafs and inside your heart? No. It's the establishment of justice and humanity in all three of those realms and beyond. You see that? Question. When it comes time to social political awareness and establishment of justice in a global setting, often an individual might find and tell themselves that I have no power here. See that? That same person should be asked and should ask themselves, is it the same response I have from my family unit? No. Is that the same response I have from my internal self? No. Correct? What gives you power inside your nafs? Every single person sitting over here, are they content with where they are, or are they trying to go to a B? They're in an A, position A, and they're trying to go to a separate position of growth called B. Every pious person is trying to increase in their piety, and hence they're not content with the current level of piety, they're trying to develop. You see that? Okay. If that's the case, then there's something over here that you don't have, that you might have over there, and that's why you're trying to go there, correct? Okay. What makes you feel that you have control over here? You say, well, it's my nafs. I could choose. Correct? But the problem is, you find that you're addicted to so many things over here, that's what's preventing you from going over there. But you're saying, yeah, I understand that. I understand there's shackles, there's environmental factors, there's my own personal deficiencies, but nonetheless, I still have a choice, I have a say. My will can manifest itself at some level, right? And hence you say, yes, I have a responsibility to maintain justice here and progress towards point B. Take the same understanding to the family unit. Can you do that there? In the family unit, can somebody say, no, I have no control here, I'm just going to let things go the way they are. No matter how hot the furnace at home becomes, Each person's trying there, correct? Why? Because this is a place where I am. I'm in an A, I'm actually there. And I want to go to a B, a better place. And I have some level of capacity to change, and I'm going to try to do that. Yes or no? If a person comes to you and says, I'm going to do no changes in my family because I can't control what others do, what would you tell them? Azizah, since when was that the criteria for attempting change? The criteria for attempting change, if that was the case, go back to your nafs and say the same thing there. I can't control all the deficiencies and other things that are holding me back, well then I can't try here either. You don't say that there. When it comes to the family unit, it's easier to spot now. And say, you're right. Even if things become difficult, the fact that you have some say, you have authority and control over your own nafs, your actions, your reactions, all of a sudden that obligates you to strive. You see that? Same pattern, let's take it to the social political sphere. Are your actions in your hands bound and your free will disabled when it comes to how you act and react on a global platform? Yes or no? Is your free will disabled there? No. If that's the case, your free will is enabled. Simply having free will and the opportunity to act and react, does that obligate you to progress or no? Yes. But to each person at their own capacities, that's true. There's no denial of a movement towards justice in all three realms. Salawat, please. The last point, and I'll end your zahamat, inshallah. Imagine an individual. He is Wahab, one of the companions of Abu Abdullah. He's just become Muslim. Does he have a lot of time to go learn about Islam? Does he have time to do his qazas and pray and fast and read the Holy Quran? Has he done that? He's been Muslim just a couple of hours. Correct? He becomes shaheed. Yes or no? When he became shaheed, our imams say in regards to him, we have ghibta for you, we wish to be sacrificed for you. Oh the awliya of Allah, oh the ahibba of Allah, oh the ansar of Allah. You see that? The dua separated. In such a small fraction of time, where not a lot of quantity was possible, what created capacity for him to achieve such a station? It's one simple idea. It's absolute devotion to one idea. Oh Allah, I will not sell you short. You give me 10 years to prove it, 10,000 years to prove it, or 10 minutes to prove it. But the reality is, my resolve is firm. I will not sell you short, period. When that resolve became at its apex, Allah said, even if in the appearance you only had 10 minutes to live or 10 hours to live, your resolve was for eternity, and the award I gave you is then for eternity. Take lesson from this, please. It's not Karbala and Ashura which made Imam Hussein Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein was only displayed there. You see that? It's not an event which happened in October which took the lives of three of our beloved Syeds, all in a unique manner. It's not those events that made them special. Those events enabled the display of their specialty. You see that? And hence what made them special was not something that occurred over a few moments. What made them special is what occurred through a lifetime. You see this? The display and the still holding fast to this idea. Allah, I will not sell you short in my personal bubble, my family bubble, or the global stage at my capacity. In all three places at my max capacity, I stand firm with your faith. Period. Is this something that you and I can't achieve? All of a sudden, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's justice is displayed here. You see, not every one of us went to Hawza and Qom and Najaf to study the deen. Not every one of us adorns a turban. Not every one of us is individuals who have this type of a family or that type of upbringing. Not every one of us has been given that level of time and dedication and position. But every one of us has been given the opportunity to reach Allah. Because every one of us has the free will to make this resolve. Salawat, please. Another salawat, please. This resolve is unique because it's something which is so simple yet the hardest thing to do. It's simple to have a picture of it in our mind. It's the hardest thing to do when it comes to actualizing that picture on the day to day, every moment, every hour, every passing minute. This tawajjuh, labeling the title tawajjuh, is easy. See this? But to actually be attentive of that is difficult. I had told you guys to bring your tawajjuh to the table, correct? From that particular point till now, anybody move their tawajjuh? Yes, I hope you did. You see this? Ever tried staring at a clock and watching it tick? All of a sudden you can't last a minute. It becomes harder. The more focused you become, the more difficult it becomes. Understand this concept. The presence of the mind and the presence of the heart are two different things. Knowing the right thing and doing the right thing are two different things. They experience and taste differently. If you're finding it easy to talk about tawajjuh, understand you're talking about the idea of it, not the actual concept. Just like if you were to find it easy to talk about focusing on a clock for 5 minutes, talking about it is easy. Go try it at home. It's hard. 5 minutes. Oh my gosh. It's a lot harder, correct? So what about tawajjuh towards our divine orientation through a lifetime? How hard must that be? Immensely hard. You and me as individuals who are representatives of piety in our own nafs, who are representatives of piety in our family unit, and who are representatives of piety on the global stage, have to have this resolve within us. And it stems from none but our primary role model, Abu Abdullah himself. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. O my master, O Aba Abdullah, what a time has come that even taking the names of your beloved brings fear in the hearts. O Mawla, I am baffled this day. I don't know whether to rejoice or I should indeed weep when I see the enemies of humanity still in fear of even the name. My heart becomes joyous, for I see my Mawla's Qudrat displayed. But alas, O Master, when I see the fear in me, that scares me. How could it be that I have fear in me to remember one connected to thee? Our Mawla on the battlefield was one who, when it came time to achieving the victory, he sacrificed all he had. This Mawla was one who was enduring arrows and spears not because he had committed any faults or flaws. Indeed, he had come out for only one purpose. He had come out to save the Ummah. He had come out to save humanity. And he did so by displaying the ultimate humanity that day. When it came time to sacrifice, he sacrificed his Akbar. When it came time to sacrifice, he sacrificed his beloved Abbas. When it came time to sacrifice, he sacrificed a Mawla as himself for this goal. May Allah accept this Khalil ibadah from us. May He allow us to be those individuals who stand by the goal of humanity, who stand by the personalities and personages who stand and have become the symbols of humanity. May He allow us to remember the persons of Syed Asad Jafri and the other beloved Sadat who we remember today. Matam Hussein. Ya Hussein. Ya